make it to this Ramadan. You were not guaranteed Ramadan. We still not guaranteed. Anyone here raise their hand, they're going to make it for sure to Ramadan? None of us. We can't guarantee anything. And so, inshallah, while I need my brothers to motivate me, to encourage me, wallahi, we miss the masajid. We miss seeing my brothers, miss seeing you guys, subhanAllah, encouraging each other, subhanAllah. You know, when you're at home, it's not the same when you're together. You get through your salah, you skip the sunnah, you skip this, you go do the next thing, delay. But when there's brothers with you, you feel like there's a quwwah, there's a strength, subhanAllah. And this is one of the aspects of jama'ah. Yadullah ma'al jama'ah. The hand of Allah, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is with the group. So we always have to stick together. We're a group. Ibadat, we know that the ibadat, there's a responsibility with us and the Creator, right? There's that relationship, vertical relationship, right? And so Allah is going to ask us about how we are with Him. Then there's a vertical relationship, us and the creation, like who? Like our brothers and sisters in Islam, like our kids, like our wives, how our neighbors, our teachers. How did we treat the people? But what's it with Allah, the Creator? What's your relationship with the creation? And so the ibadat, if you look at them, how many pillars of Islam are there? This is interactive, yeah? How many pillars of Islam? 5. First one is shahada. This one is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, salah. Is there a community aspect of salah, or it's just by itself? It's community. After that, salah is what? Zakah, right? Zakah, is there a community aspect of zakah? Yes or no? Yes, because what? Because we're giving sadaqah who takes care of those who have less or does not have. And inshallah, those, they become strong. So when they're strong and they have, then they also can give those that don't have. This is community. The next one, siyam. You said siyam. Siyam, this is a special one because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this hadith Qudsi, He said, as-siyamu li wa ana ajzi bi. Meaning, all these other ibadat, you can show off and other people can say, oh wow, he's doing great. But siyam, no one really knows if you're fasting. No one really knows if you're fasting. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this one is for me. Siyam is for me. And I will reward. The reward is like, and I'm going to $1 million for this. I'm going to give this. You left it open, big check. Somebody's going to pay you for a job, right? They say, listen, I'll give you 2 options. I can pay you $1,000 or I can leave a blank check. And you know he's got it. He has it too. And whatever you put, I'm okay. What are you going to say? Blank check. What if he's the most, well, he's the creator, Rabbul Alameen. Right? And as-siyamu li wa ana ajzi bi. There's still a community aspect about it. We come, we pray Taraweeh, we do iftar together, alhamdulillah. What's the last pillar of Islam? Hajj. Is there a community there? Yes, the community there is what made Malcolm X become Muslim. He said, look, I'm praying next to the white guy, to the black guy, to the yellow guy, to the Arab guy, the Chinese guy, the this, the that. This is the real Islam, right? That's community. 2 million, 3 million people. This year, what's going on with Hajj? I think they're restricted numbers probably again, subhanAllah. So we see the strength of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we miss each other, and this is community. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us together, inshallah, this Ramadan. I'm going to give you some resources, right? It's not just what I know. It's about how we can teach each other. This book right here, you guys know this book? It's not 2 books, it's actually 1 book. What is it? Riyadh al-Salihin. What's Riyadh al-Salihin mean? What's Riyadh mean? Rawdah. What's Rawdah? Garden. Garden. Rawdah means garden, okay? Riyadh means gardens. Gardens. Salihin. Salih, somebody who's salih, what's it mean? Like pious, righteous, right? So the gardens of the righteous. What are the gardens of the righteous? The author here, his name is Imam Nawawi. You guys should know Imam Nawawi. Imam Nawawi, great Shafi'i scholar from Syria, from Sham. He was a faqih in Shafi'i fiqh. He was a scholar in hadith. Imam Nawawi comes and he brings hadith and he makes them into chapters. Okay? He says, any hadith that's in Bukhari and Muslim, I'm going to bring them and I'm going to say, okay, these are all the hadith has to do with fasting. It's all the hadith has to do with tarawih. All the hadith has to do with salah, doing good deeds, visiting your neighbors, whatever the tawheed, taqwa, and he puts them in here. So I saw, mashallah, I see the book is right there. Anytime, and I'm sure you're doing it, anytime your youth, this is the youth masjid, mashallah, As-Habul Kahf, mashallah, the youth. Anytime you guys grab chapter, inshallah, read 1, 2, 3 hadith from this book, Riyadh al-Salihin. Okay? So we don't have to read this from today. I saw it's already over there. And you guys, mashallah, are already doing a good job. Go, especially now, into the chapters of Taraweeh and Siyam and Ramadan, and you can remind yourself some of these hadith. So at the bottom of the hadith is going to be a commentary. If I don't understand a word or something exactly, I can look at the comment. Okay? Like another book, of course. This book is called Islamic Studies, put together by Bilal Phillips. Bilal Phillips is an Imam Sheikh. He's from Caribbean area and Canada, Caribbean. And then he went and studied overseas in Saudi from like the 80s and the 90s. I believe he's in now in Dubai or wherever. He has Islamic Open University and things like this. He said he created this book. It's 4 books, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's a course in Islamic studies. When he was overseas, sometimes there's American students or Canadian students with their dads and moms overseas because they work for the companies or whatever. And so they go to American schools or English-speaking schools. And so in the English-speaking schools, they didn't have Islamic studies, even though they were Muslims. So he wrote this series as an Islamic studies thing. So if you ever want to go into this, inshallah, this is a good series to talk about Islamic studies. He has a chapter in here about Siyam. So I wanted to go over it with you guys. Fiqh as-Sawm. Fiqh as-Sawm. Fiqh, faqih al-shay. Fiqh means to understand something, be knowledgeable about something in a deep way. Fiqh, okay? And so, anytime you study a particular subject in Islam, they're going to ask 2 definitions. Anyone know what it is? 2 definitions. They give you a word, okay? So if I give you the word Sawm, I need 2 definitions, okay? First definition is what does it mean in the Arabic language? Second definition, what does it mean in the Islamic, okay? So first definition, Sawm mean just in Arabic language. Sawm. I'm gonna give you a secret. Zakah. Zakah in the Arabic language, it means to purify something from impurities. Me and you would go to the Rocky Mountains. Okay? What was this state famous for? Why did people come to the state? You guys know what? No. Gold. Right? So they came and they were miners. So they came, they dig up the gold. When you dig up the gold, what's around the gold? Rocks, dirt, impurities. So what do you have to do to get that pure gold? You have to purify, right? Or they'll put fire to it. They might burn off some of those impurities, right? Burning that off and purifying is called zakat. In the word, just the word. Like Islamically, what does zakat mean? Charity, how much? Percentage of your 2.5% of your savings to once a year after the howl goes to those who are in need. That's Islamic definition. Okay, so you got it? There's always a connection to what does it mean in Arabic, the word in the language, to what's it mean Islamic. Okay? Sawm now. Sawm means to stay away from something. To keep oneself away from something. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Maryam, Inni nadartu lirrahmani sawma. Maryam alayhi salam, she said, verily I made a promise to Ar-Rahman to fast. So what did she say? فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنْسِيًّا. So I will not talk to anybody today. Right, when she went away. She's fasting from what? Talking, right? It's not the fast that we know, right? So fasting means to stay away from something. طيب. In Islam, Sawm means to stay away from food and drink, marital relations between sunrise and sunset. Okay? During Ramadan, it's fard for us, and outside of Ramadan, it's going to be sunnah. Okay. Sawm is a wajib on Muslims, according to the Quran and Sunnah, during the which month of the calendar? Huh? Ramadan. طيب. Ramadan is which month of the year? Huh? How do you know? You Googled it, right? Good job. Okay, let's go through this. Ramadan. The month before Ramadan, we're in it right now, is what? Rajab. We're not in Rajab now. We're in Sha'ban. Before Sha'ban was Rajab. So we got Rajab, Sha'ban, and then we have Ramadan. And then we have Shawwal. Shawwal. So it's like R-S-H, R-S-H. Rajab, Sha'ban, Ramadan, Shawwal. Shawwal, we fast 6 days after Ramadan, extra Shawwal. There's a Dhul Hijjah, Dhul Qa'dah. Then Dhul Hijjah. Okay. Year of the month, the last month of the year. Dhul Hijjah is going on in. Dhul Hijjah is Hajj. Before Hajj month, Dhul Qa'dah. Before Dhul Qa'dah, Shawwal. Before Shawwal, Ramadan. Before Ramadan, Sha'ban. And before Sha'ban, Rajab. Okay, go to the end of the year again. We have Dhul Hijjah is Hajj. Okay? Then the end of the year. Then we have the first month of the year. It's called Muharram. In Muharram, we fast on Ashura, which is the 10th day of Muharram. Right? And the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts on Muharram, okay, and the day before and the day after to do Mukhalafa, they will have their sins of the coming year forgiven. So we have Muharram as the first day of the year. Then we have Safar. Okay? Then we have Rabi' al-Awwal, Rabi' al-Thani. Then we have Jumad al-Ula, Jumad al-Thani. Okay, that's 6. Then we have the R. The first R is Rajab. Good. Then the second one after Rajab, Sha'ban. Good. Then after that, second R, Ramadan. So Ramadan is which month? Good job. So now we have the next SH, Shawwal. The last 2 months of the year are Dhul Qa'dah first, and then Dhul Hijjah. What happens in Dhul Hijjah? Hajj. Got it? So you've heard it the first time you've been exposed to it. Second time around, it'll be easier. You remember it. Third time around. Ramadan is which month? 9th month. Man, mashallah, you're smart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى بينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم. Then if somebody witnesses this month from you, then you should fast. Month of Ramadan was sent down the Quran, a guidance to mankind, and a self-evident proof of that guidance, distinguishing between right and wrong. Whoever of you witnessed this month should fast. Umar ibn Umar. Who's Ibn Umar? This is a good one for the students. Ibn Umar. Who's Umar? Umar who? Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu anhu. One of the closest companions to the Prophet ﷺ. Abu Bakr and Umar. He was which number Khalifa? Number 2. First was Abu Bakr, and then Umar, and then Uthman, and then Ali. He was number 2 Khalifa. Who's Ibn Umar? What's his name? There's some famous Abdullahs. There's famous Abdullahs. Who's the famous Abdullahs? Abdullah ibn Umar. Abdullah ibn Masud ibn Abbas. Three famous Abdullahs, might be fourth one, I'm not remembering right. Okay? Abdullah bin Masud, Abdullah bin Abbas, Abdullah bin Umar. The son of who? Umar. He said in a hadith, Islam is on five, and one of them is fasting Ramadan. 5 pillars of Islam. Like, Talha ibn Ubaydullah reported that a man with his hair all messed up came to the Prophet and said, "O Allah's Messenger, tell me about what Allah made fard upon me concerning fasting." He said, the month of Ramadan. So he said, anything else that's fard upon me other than that, you guys know what fard means? Wajib, right? What's wajib? Somebody just give this to me real quick. What's wajib?
Mandatory.
Mandatory. Okay. If I do it, what? I do this mandatory thing. What happens? I get a reward. If I don't do it, I get a sin, right? Allah can forgive that sin or not, but it's punishable or it's a sin. Okay? So I don't like saying I get punished because Allah can forgive it. Right? So it's a sin. طيب. What's an example of a fard or a wajib thing? Salah. Which salah? 5 salahs. Okay. Taraweeh. What's the ruling on that? It's a sunnah. Okay. If I do the sunnah, what happens? I get a reward. If I don't do the sunnah, nothing. So you're telling me there's a difference between something which is wajib, fard, and something which is sunnah. I do it, I get reward. I don't do it, I have a sin. The sunnah, I do it, I get reward. If I don't do it, no sin. Right? Okay, yes. Okay, can you tell me the opposite of wajib is a haram, right? Haram. Give me an example, something clear haram, not just like clear haram. Shirk, riba, drinking something. Let's say drinking alcohol. May Allah protect us and help all our brothers who are suffering, through drugs and alcohol. This is a real thing. Muslims are not immune for this. It's an issue within our community, within young people. Allah make dua for them, be a source of support for them. Have a lot of mental health issues going on as well. People are suffering in silence because they're ashamed to come out and share, and so they can't get help. Well, even people used to go to the Prophet ﷺ asking for help. They used to say, a woman came and she said, I have seizures, Ya Rasulullah. I have seizures. So, and when I have seizures on the ground, my aura comes up, my dress comes up. What should I do? So she's asking advice. Ibn Abbas, or not Ibn Abbas, Al-Abbas, the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ, said, Ya Rasulullah, I gave this khutbah last week. Ya Rasulullah, I feel like my time in this world is done. I have no more benefit. Ask Allah to take my life away. So he said, oh my uncle, don't say like that. Make this dua instead. Oh Allah, if this life is good for me, then allow me to live. And if this life is not good for me, right, and I have completed all of my khair that I can do in this world, then take me away a nice state, right? And in another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that no one should wish for death, because as long as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them life, they can keep doing good deeds. And even if they were a wicked person, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could allow them to stop their good deeds, and inshallah they can make tawbah. So we don't ask to end our life. So the squirrel and the rabbit hole I just went down was mental health issues, be supportive. Drug and alcohol abuse, be supportive, inshallah. However we can help our brothers, educate ourselves, and be of assistance. Somebody drinking something, okay, is haram, right? Does it take me out of Islam? No, right? So this is a big thing. What takes me out of Islam? Shirk. I start to worship something than Allah, or I believe somebody else had Allah, right? Okay. I drink. What is it? Do I get a reward for that? Okay, what is it? Sin. I do it, I get a sin. If I don't do it, I get a reward. I get a reward if I don't do it, meaning it's in front of me. I have the capability of doing it. Or I thought about it. I'm staying away from this woman. I'm staying away from this drink. I'm staying away from this thing. Inni akhafu Allah Rabbil Alameen. Ma'adallah, like Yusuf alayhi salam. locked in the said, Ma'adallah. Said, hey Talak, come. He said, Ma'adallah, like, I don't know. So he ran away and she grabbed him from what? From the back. And then uncle opens the door. Not in here. What did she say? She said, this guy did it. Oh, I'm trying for him. Man. I said, listen, now we're going to see what happened. The shirt is front. That means you were going after it, pulled the shirt. Shirt's pulled from the back. That means you pulled the shirt. Shirt was pulled from the back. And he said, Astaghfiri li dhanbik. You made a mistake. You should repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh, the wife. Okay. I fear Allah. They get staying away from that. So we have 5 hukums, right? We have wajib, we have sunnah, we talked about haram. There's one here, what's this one called? Makruh, good job. Makruh is like eating a nice big juicy onion before I'm coming to the masjid. Cigarettes, right? Which is having some bad smell before coming to the masjid, right? So that's my stay away from makruh. What's the he's still giving rewards. You only get the sin in one thing. If you do the haram or if you stay away from the wajib. Everything else is. I went into, this is called usul al-fiqh. I went into usul now a little bit. Okay, there's a middle one here. We said wajib, said sunnah, said haram, said makruh. What's this one here? Mubah. Mustahab is sunnah. Mustahab is sunnah. This is mubah. This is neutral. Either way, nothing for or nothing against. Like eating a hamburger on a Sunday. What's the ruling, Sheikh? Eating hamburger on Sunday? Mubah. Nothing for, nothing against. Now I'm going to give you a quiz I give my students. I want to know, I want you to give me eating a hamburger and every single level. When is eating hamburger wajib? When is eating hamburger sunnah? When is eating, so it could fit in every single one. Okay, like getting married. Sheikh, what's the ruling on getting married? Well, it depends. It could be wajib, it could be sunnah, it could be mubah, makruh, haram. Every single one of those. Some of you are with me, some of you are not. That's like we went to a different squirrel hole now. Okay, where did Ramadan go? Tayyib. Eating a hamburger is wajib when? When you're starving, you're gonna die in the desert. Even if the hamburger is a bacon burger, eat it. Yes, because Allah will ask you about your life. Why did you do halak al-nafs? Why did you allow your life to be destroyed? Right? Okay, ad-darurat tubih al-mahdurat. Number 2, when is eating a hamburger sunnah? Huh? Say again? Before suhoor? Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's sunnah to have suhoor. I have a hamburger at home. It's sunnah to eat that hamburger. You invite me to your house. Istijab da'wat al-dayf, like answering the call of the person who invited me. It'd be sunnah that time. Fine. When is it haram to eat the hamburger? Fasting. When I got a bacon burger. When it's makruh. Makruh is the dislike. Maybe, okay, maybe it's time to pray. Like we're starting right now and you're like, I gotta eat now. Maybe that's makruh. No, finish your salah first, maybe. Or maybe it's full of onions and you're going to the masjid, makruh. Mubah would be when? Eating a hamburger on Sunday. Getting married. It's wajib if somebody feels like they're gonna fall in haram. It's wajib to get married. It's haram to get married if somebody cannot fulfill their responsibilities. Like he cannot take care of his own self right? It's even haram at that point. It's mustahab sunnah to get married. If somebody is not for sure they're gonna fall in haram, but they're close to the haram, it's encouraged for them and for the shabab to get haram. They feel like, right? It's mubah if it's neither or not, and it's makruh if you can take care of, but it's gonna be a bad situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, fasting in Ramadan is what's the ruling? Wajib. What are some of the benefits of Ramadan? You guys give me benefits of Ramadan. During Ramadan, what? The Prophet. Okay, purification. Fasting in Ramadan provides an opportunity to atone for one's sins. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping for the reward of Allah, man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, غفر ما تقدم من ذنبه. Allah will forgive their previous sins. Forgiven. What type of sins? Minor sins. So if there's doing this specific major one, but the minor sins are forgiven after Ramadan, between salahs, between jum'ahs, between umrah and umrah, between hajj and hajj. When you're making wudu, the drops of water are coming down. See how merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So this is a source of purification. What's another benefit of Ramadan? Prophet ﷺ said, when the gates of Ramadan, when Ramadan comes, the gates of paradise are open. Fasting also provides protection from evil. Those who sincerely fast, the Prophet ﷺ said, fasting is a shield. It's a shield, protection from. Anyone else have something?
Shaitan is locked up.
Shaitan is locked up, is chained. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a special reward where He personally gives one who fasts. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet ﷺ said, كل عمل ابن آدم له إلا الصوم. Right? I'm translating the English. Every act of Adam's descendants is for themselves except for fasting. Fasting is for me, and I will give the reward for it. Blank check. That's the one we talked about. The greatest and most unique merit of Ramadan is that a special thing came down during Ramadan. What came down? Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in that verse we read, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. What is the Quran? هدى للناس, a guidance for the people. وبينات من الهدى والفرقان. Okay, what's the reason why we fast? I'm gonna get all of you guys on this one. None of you guys gonna get this. Why do we fast? لماذا نصوم? Now, strengthen our will against temptations. He's shaking his head. Okay, what else? Why do we fast? What do we tell the non-Muslims? Non-Muslims what? We fast. Why you guys fast? So our body gets purified. It's like it's a diet, right? Why do we fast?
Hungry, you want to know like what? Be grateful for what we have.
Being grateful, we feel with the poor. Okay. What if I don't get health benefits? What if I don't feel with the poor? Do I still have to fast? It's fard, right? Why is it fard? Because so why do I do fast? Because Allah said so. Because it's fard. Because it's wajib. Okay. And كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون, so you can get taqwa, right? So the reason we fast is not so I can feel with the poor. The reason I fast is because Allah said so. The reason I pray is not because it's good for my arthritis and my joints and my yoga. That's not why I pray. I pray because Allah said so. Now, is there benefits for praying? Yeah. Breathing, relaxation, mindfulness, all that stuff. The benefits for fasting, yes. Purify my body, deal with the poor, this and that. But why do I fast? Because Allah said so. Even if I don't understand the reason why, if Allah said so, I have to do it too. Right? We can know the benefits. Right? We can know the benefits from drinking or staying away from a girl or something like that. But in the end, if I don't know the benefits, I still have to do it. Why? Because Allah said so. Okay. So لعلكم تتقون. So we can have taqwa. Okay. Who has to fast? Who is required to fast? I have 5 of them. Who has to fast? 1. Muslim. Okay, good. So a Muslim. That takes out non-Muslims don't have to fast. Okay. Who else? Yeah. Healthy person. Good. So that removes who? Non-healthy person. Some non-healthy person is permanently they're sick. And some are temporarily sick. Permanently sick people, they can never fast. Maybe they have high diabetes. They can't fast. What do? They pay a poor person for every day they cannot fast. Okay? Pay a poor person a meal. So somebody who's healthy can fast. Somebody who's Muslim. Who else? Yeah. Has to fast. Who has to fast? People past puberty, an adult. Kids don't have to fast. But we still encourage our kids as they get closer to adulthood to start fasting half day, whole day. We encourage them. So it's not like a full blown, I can't do this, right? But it's wajib when they hit puberty. Imam. Physically able, yep. Muslim, yep. Reach puberty, yep. I have 2 more. You good, brother? Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, sane. They have their mind with them. So a person who's insane or doesn't have their mind is not required to fast. That's right. Ali radiallahu anhu, the Prophet ﷺ said, the pen, meaning the deeds are being written. The pen is raised from 3. The one who's sleeping until they wake up, the child till they reach puberty, and the insane one till they gain their sanity back. So a person who's insane, maybe in a coma, stuff like that, they don't have to fast until they regain their sanity. Last one is
the woman or not?
Maybe the woman, yeah, but there's a different one here. Yeah, the woman who is on her period, she doesn't have to, but she makes those up. The one who is traveling, yeah. So the resident is required to fast, not the traveler. Can the traveler fast if they want to? Yeah, they can. But do they have excuse if they want to break it?
Do they have to make it up though?
Yes, they do. So, yes, they do. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخْرَى. So there's a beautiful ayah. يُرِيدُ اللَّهَ بِكُمْ الْيُسْرَ. Allah wants for you. Allah wants to make your life a living. No. Allah wants for you ease. And He doesn't want for you difficulty. Now I'm going to ask you, I asked you, why do we fast? Because Allah said so. Now I'm asking for the benefits. Allah says, I'm going to give you reward and I'm going to give you benefits too. What's the benefits? Some of you guys mentioned them already. Taste of hunger and thirst, which helps them realize the experience of the poor. This experience instills a desire to help those less fortunate. This is a benefit. Another benefit,
Discipline.
Discipline. They require the individual gives up not only food and drink and marital relations, but all forms of lying, backbiting, slander, right? Talking about other people's mamas. This is confirmed by the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah has no need for hunger and thirst of the person who doesn't restrain from telling lies and acting on them, even while observing that fast. Right? He also said, when one of you is fasting, he should stay away from indecent acts, unnecessary talk. And if someone begins an obscene conversation or tries to pick an argument, he should simply tell him, I'm fast. Okay. If one observes the fast according to the above principles, it should be improved their moral character, more truthful. 2 more benefits. It's been noted by medical experts that fasting improves the physical health in numerous ways. For example, during the fast, the body uses up stored cholesterol fats deposited in the blood system and other parts of the body. Thus, it helps to keep the body healthy, firm, minimizes the danger of heart attack. Healthy benefits. Is that why we fast? Why do we fast? Even if I get fatter during Ramadan? There's a problem. I need too much samosas, brother. Fasting trains the individual for jihad. fighting in the way of Allah by giving him a good source of self-control. During war, self-defense, right? If somebody's fighting, the desires of the private parts lead soldiers to either commit excesses or to do unnecessarily expose themselves to danger. Discipline, to keep your mask on, right? Discipline. I have my mask on. I get the 2 vaccines. I'm a teacher and stuff like that. So I have those, and I'm far away from my brothers here. So, alhamdulillah. Like, those are the benefits. Now we have a few more things left. Sighting the moon, types of fast to do during fast. Come on. If nobody does it in the community, then we're all sinful. If one community, khalas, it covers for all of us. That's janazah. Somebody has to do it in the community. Otherwise, we're all sinful. Somebody is doing the janazahs for us, and we're all covered. Right? Otherwise, we have to bring someone to do it for us. Okay? The Prophet ﷺ said, start the fast, take the fast when you sight the moon. But if the sky is cloudy on the 9th of Sha'ban, then estimate and complete 30 days of Sha'ban. Like, now, there's types of fasts. There's wajib fast, mustahab fast, mubah fast, makruh fast, haram fast. Which one is fast? During Ramadan, easy. Ya Allah, if you give me, Ya Allah, if you give me a child, a son or a girl. Ya Allah, if you, a person says, if you get me married, right? Then I will, becomes well upon them. Kafara. Kafara means if somebody, wallahi, they will do something and then they do it. Have to make up 3 days fasting. Kafara means if somebody go to Hajj and they have to sacrifice a sheep, but they don't have covering the sheep that they do. Okay? And wajib fast is also, if you Ramadan, you have to make it up throughout the next year. Wajib upon you too. Okay. Sunnah fast, this is a good one. You tell me, what's the sunnah fast? Monday, Thursdays. Good, that's one. After Ramadan, 6 days after Ramadan, Shawwal. Okay, another one.
Those 3 days in the middle of the month.
3 days, they are called Ayyam al-Bid, the 3 white days. Why 3 white days? 13th, 14th, 15th, those are the full moon is out. Those are called Ayyam al-Bid. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged us to do those. Okay, what else? Arafah, that is during Hajj, that's the 9th day, and the 10th day is Eid. So day of Arafah. Okay, what else?
January.
There's Ashura. Ashura, we said, is during Muharram. I think that's it. There's also something called the fast of Dawood. Do you know what's fast of Dawood?
Every other day.
Every other day. Every other. Okay. Like that is Sunnah fast. Mubah fast. Mubah is if you fast for any reason, any day. Okay. Makruh and haram fasting. Makruh and haram fasting. It's haram to fast when? Jumu'ah by itself, just because for the sake of Jumu'ah. Or Saturday. Saturday, just to fast for the sake of Jumu'ah. If you're making up a day or it's Ashura or Arafah, this is a difference of opinion, but the opinion that's most correct is that you're not fasting for Jumu'ah, you're doing it for Arafah, you can. When is it haram to fast? Eid. Got it, right? Eid. There's another on the Eid al-Adha, which is the Eid of the slaughter, right? There's 3 days after called Ayyam al-Tashriq. Those days are for eating and drinking, remembering Allah, and being with your family. So those days, it's also discouraged to fast those days as well. Okay. Who is also the Sha'ban, the Prophet ﷺ used to fast a lot. A woman who is doing a non-wajib fast should get the permission of her husband because there are certain rights and responsibilities. Okay. Exemption from fasting in Ramadan. Who does not have to fast? If you're on a journey, a traveler, sickness, marad, pregnancy, or breastfeeding. If a woman believes that while she's pregnant, that the fetus will be harmed or she herself will be harmed, she can make the decision to leave that fast, but she has to make it up afterwards. Or breastfeeding, same thing. If she's going to become so weak, it will harm her, because Allah doesn't want usr. Allah doesn't want harm. If somebody is very weak, they have a very bad migraine, and they're very dehydrated, they can break their fast. Okay, due to old age or whatever reason. Jihad. If a person is about to participate in self-defense, jihad, war, and fears that the fasting will weaken him, they can drink, or while in progress. But we know Sahaba fasted the Battle of Badr was in Ramadan. Which day was Ramadan Battle of Badr? We're almost done. Anyone know Battle of Badr, which day Ramadan was? 20th. 20th day was Battle of Badr. Okay. Kafara. This is talking about kafara. Someone. I don't believe that breaks your fast. Let's see here. What's allowed to do when fasting? Can you brush your teeth?
Yes.
Even with toothpaste? Yes. Brush your teeth, even with toothpaste. Don't swallow it. Don't be too much and we'll go way back. Just be careful, right? Donating blood or unintentional vomiting do not break the fast. If somebody is not intentionally vomiting, it doesn't break the fast. It's saying here, even if you donate blood, it doesn't break the fast. Here he's saying if somebody kisses their wife while fasting, it does not break the fast as long as moderation observed. It doesn't lead to something else, because that would be then haram, because that is what breaks the fast. There's other madhab, they say no, it does break the fast out of precaution to stay away from this. Okay. COVID vaccine, does it break the fast? COVID vaccine does not break. COVID vaccine does not break the fast. Any injection, which is the medicine, nasal eye drops, does not break the fast. They're not a form of nutrition and putting in your body. It's not nutrition. If you eat or drink accidentally, it does not break the fast. You're used to going in school every day after recess. I used to go and get a drink of water because we were playing hard outside. So when Ramadan comes, I'm fasting, I'll go still get my drink of water. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fasting. You just keep going, right? Right? Because I was dunking on all you guys during recess, so I needed some water. Okay? Bathing, swimming. So you need to cool off in water. It doesn't break your fast, but that doesn't mean go do 20 laps and swim like, oh, accident, wow. Okay, for someone to rinse out their mouth, right? Make wudu, rinse out their mouth, doesn't break their fast. Taste the food. Our moms will taste the food, see if it or not enough salt, and then they'll spit it out, right? Without swallowing anything that goes down the throat. Swallowing your own saliva, your own spit does not break the fast. Okay. Almost done here. Niyyah. Fundamentals of fasting. There's something called niyyah. Make your niyyah from now, inshallah. The beginning of Ramadan, you're going to fast the whole. But also, if we can, we need to make the niyyah every day. If we can, bayit al-niyyah. Like before we go to sleep at night or suhoor, our niyyah is there to do the fast. Okay? Prophet said, hadith narrated by Hafsa, radiallahu anha, whoever does not intend to fast before Fajr will have no fast. Okay? Another fundamental of fasting is something called suhoor. What's suhoor?
Eating before.
Eating before. Okay? The fast begins with a light meal known as suhoor, taken just before Fajr. The Prophet ﷺ encouraged his followers to take this meal. He ﷺ said, Hadith Anas, take suhoor because there's barakah in it. Barakah in it. Take suhoor. You feel a lot better when you do your suhoor, yeah.
What is the sin of missing a day of fasting without a reason?
Okay, this is a good question. What is the sin for missing suhoor? Let me ask you that.
There's no sin, right?
No sin. Why? Because suhoor is sunnah. Okay, good. The sin of messing it up, I believe, so it's sinful. Alam, 60 days in a row has to be fasted. You can check on this, inshallah. I don't want to be quoted on that, but okay. Or that might be for the person who goes with their has a relationship with them during breaks their fast. Okay.
What do you mean by that?
They're married.
Oh,
They have physical relationship.
that's what, 60 days?
60 days for that one day missed. Because you can see kind of the severity. It's not. It's trying to say, stay away from this. Like, just do that and benefit.
No.
Like for the Prophet ﷺ said, if one of you hears the adhan and a vessel remains in his hand, he should not put it down till you finish what's in it. So it's best to try to finish your suhoor before the adhan. If there's something in your mouth or your right, then you can finish that, but don't. Iftar, the Prophet ﷺ said, people will remain happy and prosperous as long as they break the fast quickly. And the Prophet ﷺ used to break his fast with what? A few dates. Fresh dates before with Salat al-Maghrib. If fresh dates were not available, rutab, he would use dry dates. If dry dates weren't available, it would be water. There's a dua for breaking the fast. Who knows it? What has he won tonight? ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله. The thirst has left and the veins have been filled and quenched, and ثبت الأجر, the أجر has been ثابت. I know you guys know, you just forgot. Inshallah. وثبت الأجر Allah. Two more times. الظمأ وابتلت العروق العروق ثبت الأجر. Fast. There's something called Salat al-Tarawih. It's a different, never you to exceed less. We would pray Ekaz and then Shafa and Witr, etc. This can be done individually at home, etc. Anything after Isha is called Qiyam al-Layl or Tahajjud or Tarawih. Tarawih, what's the reward? The Prophet ﷺ is quoted by Abu Hurairah as saying, whoever prays at night throughout the month of Ramadan, Imanan wa ihtisaban, out of Iman and seeking the reward from Allah, Allah will have his sins forgiven. So whoever fasts will have his sins forgiven. Whoever prays Qiyam al-Layl or Tahajjud, Tarawih, have his fast. And the Prophet ﷺ, whoever establishes the prayers of the night on Laylatul Qadr, seeking reward only from Allah, will have his past sins forgiven. Hey, a lot of sins forgiven, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr. One night equals 1,000 months. How many years is that? 83. 1,000 months is 83. If you Google it, how much is 1,000 months in years? Comes out 83.44. So you're just doing the ibadah that, it equals like worshipping for 83 years. So we'll catch it, inshallah. We do our best to encourage each other.
This is within the last night.
So the Laylatul within the last 10 nights, and then there's another, it's in the last 10 odd nights. But we don't know, like, right or not fast, right? So we send all the effort, but we make juhud the whole month, and we make juhud the last 10.
What about i'tikaf?
I'tikaf, it's also recommended to spend the last 10 days and nights of Ramadan in seclusion in the mosque. I'tikaf, as the Prophet ﷺ used to do, Aisha radiallahu anha stated, the Prophet used to seclude himself in the masjid during the last 10 days of Ramadan, until he died, and his wives continued this i'tikaf after him. They used to do it. So this is some reminders about Ramadan. Sawm means in the Arabic language to stay away from something. Maryam stayed away from talking. Islamically, it means to fast from food and drink and marital relations from sunrise to sunset. Like Ramadan, I forgot to mention this, comes from the word Ramad. Oh, I don't know if it's Ramad or Ramad, with dha or da, but it means something hot. And this was the hotness of the month when the Arabs called it that. Okay, Ramadan is which number month? Hey, good job. Okay. Okay, what's before Ramadan, the month? Sha'ban. After it is Shawwal. What's the R before Sha'ban? Rajab. Okay, good. طيب. We said, why do we fast? Allah said so. What's the benefits of fasting? Be with the poor. Remember Allah, huh? Discipline. Health. Okay, good. What breaks the fast? What doesn't break the fast?
Eating, drinking, natural relation.
Good. What does not break the fast? Brushing your teeth doesn't break your fast. Accidentally vomit doesn't break your fast. Accidentally drinking water and you forgot doesn't break your fast. Finish your fast.
Do shots break your fast or not?
Vaccine doesn't fast. No, it doesn't break your fast because it's not nutritional elements in it.
True that cursing also doesn't break your fast.
Cursing does not break your fast, but don't do it. And that's, we read the hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need your fast if you don't stop lying and cursing and doing, you know, things that we're normally doing. You should stay away from them. Does it break your fast? Technically, no. Should I do better with it? Yeah. You know what helps with cursing? When I was in high school, my friends, we were cursing. My companions, alhamdulillah, my brothers were my brothers in the masjid. But my colleagues at school, they were cursing. So when I was around them, I was doing that type of stuff. And when I got into college, I was around them and wow, a miracle, my language stopped. And like, I just started listening to less and less, you know, music and this type of stuff. And so my language stopped too. So it's with who you keep around you. Yeah. Has some? Okay. Yeah, cursing doesn't break your fast. Yeah.
Does missing salah break your fast?
If you don't pray, does that break your fast? Yeah. It's two different ibadahs. There's a bucket of salah. There's a bucket of salah. It's a huge bucket. There's a bucket of siyam. It's a little bit smaller than that bucket. The bucket of salah, okay, that salah, we said it was revealed in Isra al-Ma'raj. It was revealed in Jannah. And the first deed Allah is going to ask us about on the Day of Judgment is salah. So I need to make sure that bucket is there. But if I'm not putting stuff in that bucket, I need still do siyam. So it doesn't break my siyam. But if I'm smart, I should do my salah and my siyam. But like, okay, well, forget about it. I'm not. If Allah is not accepting, I'm not fasting. I'm not fasting either. No. Okay, so it's like the grades. Okay, you have 50% exam and quizzes. You have 20% homeworks, 10% attendance, 10%, you know, whatever. Okay. And so if I do the 20% homeworks, do I get credit for that? But I didn't do the exams, right? So yeah, I'm missing a big bucket. I need to get that bucket taken care of. But I still get credit for something. But I need to fix that other bucket too. And so hopefully that'll help me fix it. Okay, what else? Yeah.
So wait, I heard like if like you do drugs, like your prayer doesn't count for like 40 days, right? Is it the same for like Ramadan?
Drinking, I don't know if it's drugs too. Drinking. But the ulama say you don't like not pray those 30 days then. You still need to pray the next day.
Does that, what about the fasting? Like, does it break your fast?
Not that, I don't believe there's a connection with the fast. Probably just the salah. We would need a proof from the Sharia, from the Quran and Sunnah, have it connected to that too, right? Hey man, people are going through things, man. It's hard. It's not easy, right? So we don't judge people. We be supportive. At the same time, I encourage my brother, whoever is going through that, no, fast. It's not like, no, I'm not going to fast then because I did this or I did that. No, fast, inshallah, pray, get help and get support. And it's not wrong to go to a therapist or go to a center or institute that can get help. It's not wrong. There's no shame. No shame.
Are there like say non-Muslim?
Okay, good question. Any other questions too? I'll answer at the same time. Okay. Yeah, give me.
I was gonna say like if they're hellfire, are they?
Okay, good. The question was, this is good. Now we're going. Do we need to make that?
No, it's okay. We can wait, inshallah.
Okay. Are there people in Jannah now or the hellfire now? And if people are in the hellfire, can they go to Jannah? Two questions. I'm going to ask the second question first. The Prophet ﷺ said, this is a good news for us. Good news. Whoever has in his heart مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ مِنَ الْإِيمَانِ, whoever has a tiny seed's weight of their heart, دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ, they will enter into Jannah. Most valuable thing you can have is this Iman, is this Shahada, La ilaha illallah, Hamdu Rasulullah. I don't care if somebody's in jail, hold on to your Shahada. Maybe they're in jail and it's a good thing for them because they got out of a bad situation. I don't care if somebody's on whatever substance, hold on to that La ilaha illallah. There are some Muslims that maybe somebody didn't do any good throughout their life, but they have that La ilaha illallah, right? They will go to the hellfire and then they will be removed from the hellfire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful and the most compassionate. The Prophet ﷺ was sitting with his companions one day and he saw a woman, they were by the fire, and she was holding what? Babies. And he said, see that woman? He said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He said, see how she's holding so close to her? The baby's feeding. He said, do you imagine? She said, throw the baby into the fire? Impossible. How could you imagine that a mother will rip her baby and throw it into fire? He said, Allah Ta'ala is more merciful to his creation than this woman who is impossible to think she would throw in the fire. Allah is more merciful than that. What does that make me think? That makes me think the person who's going to be in the fire had to be so wicked because Allah is so merciful, right? And the one who stays there forever, that means what? That means, okay, if you picture me, I turn my back on you now. I turn my back on you. I know you're there. I know you're there. And I say, no, man's not there. Right? I know in my knowledge and in my heart you're there. And you're telling me, Sheikh Shams, I'm going to die. Help me. And I don't hear a voice. Help me. I need food. I'm starving. And I have food. I can help. I said, no, I don't hear a voice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not hold me account if I'm not able or if I didn't know. The Amazon person in the jungle didn't know about Allah. He will test them on the day of judgment. The someone who got Islam come by Fox News or in Alaska or somewhere far away, they don't know. Allah will not hold them. He will test them on the day of judgment. The one who's punished is the one who knows the truth. Like looking at the sun, they say, no, sun is not there. Like turn their back on it. It's like, you knew the truth. Musa came to Fir'aun, saw the miracles, saw the truth. He's like, nah, man, I got this nice gig right now. I'm holding it down right now. I can't. So now, he's like, Allah, he's going to stand in front of Allah, watch, on the day of judgment. Okay? And he's going to say, okay, Allah, yeah, I'm here now. He's like, what do you want from me? What do you want from me now? He's like, well, I heard you have this reward, paradise, and I heard there's a punishment too. Can you help me out? He said, you didn't even recognize me. I sent you signs. You knew the truth. I knew it was in your heart. Your limbs are witnessing against you now. Are witnessing against you, right? And so the person who knew the truth and turned their back and they had all the chances, this is who we can imagine will be in the fire. Not the person who doesn't know or received Islam in a strange way. So that whoever has mithqala dharratin min al-iman, dakhala al-jannah. I want to give you another analogy. Okay? You came into class, you know, in the university or in the big halls, right? You showed up to class every day. They said, but he did a good job. They helped the poor. They helped the this. They helped the innocent. They helped, you know, they were a different faith, right? You showed up to class every day. You did the homework, the test. You did the exams. You were at the end of the semester, you go to the teacher, you want to check what's your grade. She checks the list. She says, you're not on the list. Why? You never registered for the class. You never registered. You want a reward for me now. You want a grade for me now. You didn't even recognize me. Yeah, you were doing all this stuff, but you didn't recognize me. You're not on the list. Now you want something from me now? Right? And so, وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. Allah will not be unjust to anyone. So when I get confused myself, like somebody tells me, so-and-so name, so-and-so hero in the past, so-and-so who was a good person, their hero, this and that, I say, look, وَلَا يَظْلِمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا. I leave it to Allah. He will not oppress anybody. In fact, He's more merciful. You got that? My heart like kind of rests a little bit as far as that particular thing. Time now, time is relevant. Okay, time is relevant. Allah is not bound by time. Allah is outside of time. He created time. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now you can imagine where the Prophet ﷺ is in his grave, and that is quick. Right? For him, time is quick, or a shaheed. Time for them maybe us here is 2,000 years. So it's relevant. That reality is a deal, right? Or anyone, the prophets, etc. So time is different. Our time is something. I'll give you a story. Anyone else have a question? Okay, there was a lady that has a Mars rover in California. Said, you know, they had to control the machine on Mars based upon when that day was. So the day on Mars is longer. It's like 36 hours or something. And so they made watches so that they could have a 36-hour day. So she said we started falling 6 because we woke up when the machine woke up, okay? And so now they said it's like we were living outside of the earth, because our shift would be like at 4 a.m. in the morning. We leave work, we try to go find a restaurant to eat, and there's only like one diner open in LA when there's no traffic. It's like we're not living on this planet, right? And so the reality of what is time relative to other things, right? Allah is in charge of that. Question.
I'm just gonna ask, there's a lot of brothers and sisters who reverted to time recently.
Yeah.
So something like fasting for a whole month is difficult.
Right.
So what's some words that we encourage them, and also how can we as community reach out to them and welcome them and help them in Ramadan?
A lot of new brothers and sisters that accepted Islam, especially during this time. How can they advantage of Ramadan and fasting, and how can we reach out to them? So inshallah, fasting is, there's a funny joke. Brother John accepted, you know, at the local masjid. He's all excited. Day one. Hey, how's the fast go? Alhamdulillah, brother. Second day, John's not looking too good. I'm good. Third day, John's sorry. I don't know how we're gonna do this, right? Let's make iftar? No, brother. So we gotta explain how Allah makes it easy. There's suhoor, there's iftar. They don't have to fast 30 days in a row. That's actually one of the ones that, right, is or makruh, right? You don't fast every day, and you don't fast without having iftar or suhoor. Reach out to them. They're looking for a community, right? Community. Sometimes their family doesn't accept their Islam, so they're looking for support and community. I would suggest a good project is like when somebody comes accepts Islam from here, make a da'wah bag from them and make like, you know how the Muhajirin and the Ansar, they had a brother that the Prophet ﷺ connected them with. Have somebody to connect, say, assign so-and-so to check on them once a week, make sure they come to the masjid, eat food together, see how they're doing. A lot of our brothers, because we're not doing our job, they'll say the shahada here with us, but then they go born, you don't know they're still Muslim or what happened. So we really, Tamam? Jazakumullah khair to make this Ramadan beneficial. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the reward that the Prophet shared with us about fasting Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, forgives their sins, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive the sins of the one who stands. Allah allow us to have the light and His nur into our hearts, and that we could nur for our brothers and sisters who are in need of it everywhere, inshallah. We ask Allah to protect us in this Masjid As-Habul Kahf, like He protected those youth from the people, and that He made them a sign for all those that came until the Day of Judgment. We ask Allah to make us from the people of Quran, the people of Siyam, the people. Bless your fathers, bless your brothers and sisters, all your friends, all of our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world who are suffering, who may be fasting every food to eat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them food and drink and strength and reward them, make them amongst the highest levels in Jannah. May Allah fix our hearts. May Allah together and unite us, inshallah. May Allah allow us to see the month of Ramadan and benefit from it. وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خير. Thank you for inviting me. Inshallah, beneficial.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.